guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Today I'm going to be doing a bit of a long overdue review of a locomotive that I bought towards the end of last year, which is the Arnold N-Gauge BLS Re4. The locomotive has been produced in three versions. Number 192 Spiez, with the single arm pantograph, which is the one that I bought. Also, they produced number 173 Loschental, I'm not sure how you pronounce that. This one has the diamond shaped pantograph. And then they also produced number 161 Domodossola. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly as well. This one too has the diamond shaped pantograph. Now all three locomotives come as either analog, they can be bought as an analog version or a DCC version. I went for the analog version, just because I don't have DCC on the layout. I'm going for analog on my layout, so I didn't really see the need to pay the extra for the DCC version. But let's dive straight in. I'm going to show you a little bit of unboxing first, how the model comes, share my thoughts on the locomotive itself, and then a few little running shots on the layout to finish off. Hope you enjoy the review. Stay with me. I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. Let's go through the unboxing section. So let's open up and see what we've got inside. As you know, I've already had this out of the box, so I kind of know what to expect, but just to show you how this came from Hornby. Bit of cellophane there, and then this lovely presentation box, which I really love. One of the reasons I bought this was because I just love these kind of presentation boxes, all the writing sort of nicely embossed into the cardboard there, a nice glossy package. Looks really good. Yeah, really nicely done. And then this is where it gets really nice. Inside we have got this rather nice tin. Again, nicely kept and packaged. You've got this cellophane around every part of the box just to keep it nice. And this is really nice, quite a novel idea. I've never bought a model railway locomotive or coach or anything really that's come in a tin box, but this is rather nice, and a nice touch from Arnold. Again here, nice embossed BLS into the tin. Re4 just tells you what's to come inside. So upon opening the box, you get this rather nice little booklet with number 192, which is the locomotive that I purchased. Again, really nice touch from Arnold. Didn't expect this at all. But only one problem is it's all in German. So if you don't speak German, it's going to be no good to you unless you go on a crash course and learn German super quick. I can read a few words from my college days of learning German, but trying to string a sentence together is quite difficult for me, but I can pick out a few words here and there. But the lovely thing with this booklet is there are some rather nice photos of the BLS Re4 locomotives. I think this one's particularly nice. Quite a typical scene, double heading, probably over the Gotthard route, or the BLS route. Yeah, just lovely photos all the way through. They're not all of number 192. They are of various locomotives. Something that would have been nice would have been exclusively to 192, but can't complain. Got some nice photos. And then in the middle here, we've got the full lineup of Re44s. Each number here listed with its name and emblem, which is quite a nice touch. So you can see all of the Re44s that existed there. And then at the back, just a few more photos of the locomotives. Again, they're really high quality photos as well, so they do look good and very nicely printed. This one's quite good if you want to weather it. Some quite good roof weathering detail there. Lovely photo. And there we are, a few more there. Nice few pages, and then nice little lineup at the back there, outside Spiez depot. There we are, so that's the booklet. And then, so inside we've got this foam just protecting the rest of the items. You get this lovely keyring, which is actually really heavy. I haven't taken it out of the packaging, but it is a keyring of the Re4 locomotive there. I don't know if you can see that with the light bouncing off it, but quite a nice touch. A bit unusual again, but a nice touch. Not sure why that's in there. I'll probably never ever take it out of the package, keep it nice. And then underneath the locomotive, just some little instruction booklets. Here we've got this one which shows you all the parts that are fitted. This locomotive being having lights and all that kind of jazz, so just really shows you. This is the usual instruction manual, isn't it, really? Just separate parts. If you need to order spare parts, you can do. But the real part is this. This is what we've all been waiting for, is the locomotive. Nice BLS box as well in the colours. I do like the brown, kind of giving a little matching theme there. We have some replacement traction tyres here. And then with some cellophane across the locomotive, just nicely protected there as well. So upon first inspection, this locomotive just looks really nice. I appreciate there are some errors with it, but we won't go too far into that today. I just want to talk about the presentation and the locomotive itself. I am really chuffed with this locomotive. It's certainly, as I said in a previous video, it's fast becoming one of my favourite locomotives on the layout, but it is super nice. I'll go through a few of the things that aren't quite right. I've been reliably informed that certain areas of this locomotive are very much from the original tooling. This is supposedly a new tooling. It still looks really good, but let's run through a few of the details on this locomotive. So here we have it. I do like it, I have to say. I'm a little bit in love with this locomotive. It does look pretty good. Does it look like an Re4? Yeah, it does. I have been reliably informed though that the body is either too wide or too narrow. I can't remember which way around, but I'm very pleased with it, to be honest. Probably a slightly biased review. So let's start with the bogie details. I've got to say, it does look nice. They've done a really good job. Detailing looks nice. No idea if it's been updated from the original tooling, but they do look good. And at the front here, you've got these handrails as well, which are a nice touch. Just adds to the overall features of this locomotive. Single arm pantograph there. A little bit fiddly to get it to rise, but certainly it does look good. There's also the diamond pantograph versions as well, but I quite fancy this one. This was the one I like the most out of the three. I quite like the single arm. I think it looks good, so I opted for that version. Side grills look pretty good, pretty well molded, as are the roof grills as well. I don't think they're separately fitted etched parts, which I know a lot of these modern models do have nowadays, just adds to the realism. And I think certainly whilst they were retooling this version, that's something they probably could have considered, but maybe, I don't know, maybe they wanted to keep the cost down. They kind of stuck with the original parts, but weathered up, I'm sure they could be picked out and will look really, really nice. A nice touch I found on this locomotive that the original doesn't have is the engine room details that you can see through the side windows. That does look good, and that again, that's a really nice touch. I'm sure that features on both sides. So there we are, there's the other side as well. Livery application is really good. I can't find any faults with that. And also the printing of the logos and the coat of arms. I'm not sure if you can see that there. Try and zoom in a little bit. Again, that's been nicely picked out on this model. And also the little emblems down here as well. Not sure why the light keeps going on and off on this. It's very strange. Hopefully you can see that okay. So yeah, overall, I'm pretty happy with that. Not sure why the light keeps going on and off on there. There we go. So, what else can we say about it? Not really a huge amount. Apart from the fact, as I said at the beginning of the video, it does look like an Re4. I think that's the main thing. If it has the look, I think certainly an N-gauge, when it's flying by on the layout, if it's got the look of the prototype, then I think certainly you're on to a bit of a winner, really. There's only one thing I will say about this that I don't like, is the underframe detail. Although the bogies have been very, very nicely modelled, I think certainly when Arnold decided to produce this new model, and bearing in mind the effort that they put in to the packaging and the booklets, the very nicely printed booklet with all the lovely photos and the history behind the locomotives, they could have looked at this, which is the underframe detail here. Now, if you look at this photo that I found, it looks nothing like it. And even if you look on the other side as well, it just looks nothing like the prototype. And I think Arnold have missed a trick here when they retool this or reproduced this model, re-released it, however you want to put it. They could have updated this part. It's very, very basic. And I know an N-gauge, you don't see it quite so much because it's much smaller. But with the level of detail that models are going to these days, and these manufacturers are going to produce beautifully detailed items, even in N-gauge, I think certainly Arnold missed a trick here, and they could have updated this and made it much, much better. And it's certainly something that I will probably do in the future. I will probably scratch build a new underframe, see how it looks, and if it looks good enough, I will be brave enough to take the knife to the underframe on this model and add the new underframe, and then obviously weather the locomotive as well. But in essence, I'm very pleased. It looks great. It looks like an Re4, and I can't wait to show it when on the layout. So let's head into the garage, and I'll show you a nice few running shots. So I hope you've enjoyed the review of this Hornby Arnold BLS Re4. It's certainly one of my favourite locomotives on the layout. Hopefully you've made this far in the video as well and you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye for now.